to today's show. Well, I'm going to tell you this. If you didn't believe it before, you're going to believe it now. Things are rigged towards one candidate. Amazon's Alexa, so the little device, that you can ask it questions, tell you to order things on Amazon. Well, people have found out that it is now biased towards Trump in a negative way. It is literally rigged to only tell the good things about Kamala Harris and won't even say anything about Donald Trump. There's 71 million of these devices in the United States. First it was Twitter, then it was Facebook, now it's Amazon. All the censorship towards Trump is unreal. Is this election interference? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. The RNC is now suing North Carolina Elections Board and are saying that they have allowed 225,000 unvetted people to be registered to vote. And they're saying there's a lot of non-citizens in those amount of people. The RNC has now sued 25 states with over 100 lawsuits to get non-citizens off the voter rolls. Like, I can't even believe I just said that, how messed up that is. And now Trump and Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, are trying to say they're going to put the SAFE Act, which requires proof of citizenship to vote, in the spending bill, or else the government is going to shut down if they don't pass it with it. This is good stuff, but there's also new censorship that has been found. We've got all that breaking news for you today. Just want to say thank you to our new members of the channel, David Harrison and Stephanie McCart. Thank you so much for supporting us. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And if you don't mind, please click the thumbs up like button. It really does help to support the channel. And I just want to say, hey, thank you. Hey, to everybody that supports the channel with a super chat donation, just like Big Dog DFW just did with the $50 dono. He said, let's get it, brother. Much love to you and your family. Kamala has got to go. I agree. Show some love to Big Dog DFW in the chat, everybody. We are here to serve you with the top news, because right now we've got news that Kamala Harris may be backing out of the September 10th debate because she's afraid to go up against Donald Trump. Let me know your thoughts. We got Dan Bongino in just a moment. We're going to get you taken care of today. Let's jump right into it. Check it out.
Their first debate.
I think that the Harris campaign is looking for an escape hatch. They refuse to accept the terms of the debate, which, again, everyone had already agreed to it. We'd agreed to it. ABC's agreed to it. The rules are the rules. They're not changing. But Kamala Harris and her campaign, they're afraid. Want to know why? Because she's going to have to answer for every bit of this last 3.5 years.
A president of District Media Group and fellow at Independent Women's Forum, Beverly Hallberg, joins me now. Beverly, cut through all the noise in this. This has been going on for weeks now. Will they, won't they, this thing, that thing, Mike's, not Mike. What's the deal? What's really going on here?
Well, we're going to have to wait and find out to see what she actually agrees to. But I think the way the Harris campaign is running the campaign is very reminiscent of how Joe Biden ran his basement campaign strategy 4 years ago. It seems that what Democrats want to do is keep Harris out of the spotlight as much as possible. Anytime she's not around a teleprompter, they want to keep her quiet. I mean, look at the data so far. She has not done a solo interview. She has not held a press conference. And now a debate, which are the same rules that Joe Biden agreed to during his CNN debate, she seems to be having cold feet. And so I think this is going to be hard for her team to say that she's not going to do this debate when Joe Biden did it himself. And I think the American people are going to demand this debate, but it shows the cold feet for a good reason, because I think they honestly see that she's struggling to be able to stay on message. And it's also about the optics. Is she optically going to have the type of not just substance, but style that she needs?
Great question. Trump.
And if you didn't know, right now, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have done 34 interviews. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have done 1. And if she backs out of this debate, she shouldn't be allowed to run for president. Let me know your thoughts.
Explaining why he thinks VP Harris will only do this debate on one network, that network, ABC.
But that's the only one she'll go to. Now, the other one is the head of ABC is her best friend and her husband's best friend, too. And I had to make a decision. Do I want to debate? I'd like to debate him.
Yeah, to be clear what Donald Trump's talking about, he is commenting on reporting that a very, very high-level executive at ABC is very close friends with Doug Emhoff and Kamala Harris. So with that in mind, to Trump's point, can voters trust ABC to be right down the middle and impartial in this debate with all of America watching?
Unfairness.
Well, this is where America will call them out if they're not. Now, I do think that there's always bias when you deal with legacy media. It is not a shock to the American people that ABC is not friendly toward Donald Trump and his policies. But I give Donald Trump a lot of credit where he says, I'm willing to go wherever I need to go to debate Kamala Harris. And again, it's putting a spotlight on someone who seems afraid to debate him. And so I think he's putting her in this tough position of having to say yes. Again, it's the same rules that Joe Biden agreed to. Why won't Kamala Harris agree to those same rules? I think at the end of the day, we're going to see her next week on that debate stage, and I think the rules are going to stay as is.
Let's create a hypothetical here.
Yes, I'll tell you this. If people don't think that there's bias out there, we have had censorship towards Trump in so many ways. This is literally blowing up X right now. I'm going to show you this real quick, and then I got something special for you from Dan Bongino. Check this out. This is a person who has an Alexa, and everybody's doing this now because it's the same for everybody. Listen to this bias, this censorship of Trump.
Alexa, why should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot provide content that promotes a specific political party or a specific candidate.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a strong candidate with a proven track record of accomplishment. As the first female vice president, Harris has already broken down a major gender barrier, and her career in politics has been characterized by a commitment to progressive ideals and a focus on helping disenfranchised communities.
You want people want to say, oh, it's fair. Oh, the media is fair, and they're just Trump's just trying to cause election interference. No, that's election interference. That right there won't say anything about Donald Trump, but yet praises Kamala Harris for being a pioneer when we all know she's as fake as it gets. Kamala Harris literally panders to people, changes her accent in the worst way. And what bothers me is that people just praise her like she's so true and she's so sincere. Check this out.
First, because it's de facto Monday, even though it's Tuesday, Kamala Harris is the fakest candidate to ever run for president. Ladies and gentlemen, when Kamala Harris tells you her values haven't changed, she's not lying. She's not lying. What do you mean, Dan, she's not lying? She's not. Kamala Harris has never had any values. Kamala Harris has been full of her whole life. So when Kamala Harris...
Big dog. Oh my goodness, guys. Oh, brother, thank you so much. Well, what? We gonna take the family out to eat tonight. We got, I got twins and I got a 3-year-old. Thank you so much for that blessing, big dog. Like, you don't know how much it means to us that you do that. Like, we are so grateful for everybody. We're so grateful for you to support us in this endeavor. Everybody show Big Dog some love. Like, man, y'all gonna make me tear up on here. Thank you so much. We're gonna get back into this news, but Big Dog, thank you so much for that special donation.
My values haven't changed. She's not wrong. She's nothing more than a gamer. There's not an ounce of genuine, authentic character in her anywhere. Zero. The Democrats know this. This is why they are desperate to hide her. They got her wearing earphones now when she gets out of the limo in the SUV so that she doesn't have to answer any questions. She's the single fakest human being to ever run in a space, politics, occupied by artists all the time. What does it say that in order to run for office, you have to be in the top 1% of fake people, Republican or Democrat, okay? The only ones who win are the really, really fake ones, with few exceptions. In that top 1% of phonies, Kamala Harris is the 0.0001%.
She really
the
is.
single fakest human being to ever run. Guy, do you think I made the point? Thank you. Play this if you would. Here's Kamala Harris. For those listening on audio, you're going to hear two speeches back to back. They are not the same speech. The first one is in Detroit, about 12 seconds or so. Then you're going to hear a quick break. She's going to be addressing the exact same issue, union issues. This time it's from Pittsburgh. Tell me if you can spot the difference.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time. Thank unions for sick leave. Thank unions for paid family leave. Thank unions for your vacation time.
If I don't, that is so fake. I'm telling you. This is stuff that has to be called out. This is stuff that has to be shared. Because if she's going to pander and be fake to one crowd, then that means she has no authenticity. And everything she says is fake, so we can't trust her. People like this, these charlatans, cannot be trusted. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section.
Where's that? Do we have that Academy Award Will gave me that time? Remember that fake Academy Award thing or something? Folks, this woman is a phony. She is the biggest fake. She's doing this
fake
BS routine. She does all the time. And Democrats, Republicans, please don't ever do this. Do not be condescending. Do not be a panderer.
No.
I'm going to tell you this right now. Genuine, authentic people, dirt under the fingernails, carpenters, middle-class workers, soccer dads, basketball dads, volleyball dads, people who've worked for a living and raised kids. It doesn't matter race, color, creed, sex, or anything. They see immediately. Please stop with the act. Just be yourself. Imagine Donald Trump. You better. You better. You better. You better.
No.
Just talk like yourself.
Be yourself. Y'all think that's crazy? Listen to what he's about to say right here.
I threw that in this morning late. She's a phony, dudes. She's a fake. A huge fraud. If she wins, the country's finished. Folks, the red line's been crossed this weekend. You know, Monday was a day off for us. It was a holiday for the team. The team deserves a break, too. But this was so important that it's almost worthy of a special in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
The threat to free speech, folks, is here now. It's not coming. It's not going to be here tomorrow. It's here now. If we lose this election, the censorship that's already here, you hear me? Already here is going to be magnified up by a factor of 1,000 to you're going to look back on the halcyon days when you were allowed to speak freely in this country. Did you see what happened this weekend with Elon in Brazil? This is a media outlet, a left-wing media outlet overseas, The Guardian. These absolute life losers.
I'm telling you,
who
it's
really
crazy.
believe, like the Washington Post, that they're paragons of democracy. The democracy dies in the darkness. I want you to know these people are the darkness. This is an actual piece. It's one of those pieces, I give you my word, I had to go back and look twice to make sure this wasn't fake, because I'm like, no way a media outlet would put this in their own paper, threatening to have Elon Musk arrested for promoting free speech.
And think about it. How many times have you heard the Democrats say, we got to save democracy, we got to save democracy, when they're the very ones that are targeting the very essence of democracy, our First Amendment right. It's not a privilege, it's a right.
Robert Reich, absolute communist tyrant. There's no debating that. There's no debating it. He put it down on paper, period. Elon Musk is out of control. Here's how to rein him in. Keep that up there. Why is Elon Musk out of control, folks? Quote, because Elon Musk does not promote leftist propaganda on his site. he lets leftists push their own propaganda.
Yep.
Which is what free speech is about. He lets them push their own propaganda. Nobody's banned. And he gives the right the opportunity with facts to counter leftist BS. Therefore, he's, quote, out of control. Robert Reich, absolute scumbag, actually wrote this in The Guardian, that regulators around the world should threaten Elon Musk with arrest if he doesn't stop disseminating lies and hate on X, i.e. facts that contradict leftist fascist propaganda.
How crazy
Global
is
regulators
this?
may be on the way to doing this. Robert Reich, scumbag, little Napoleon sent evidence by the arrest in France of Pavel Dura from Telegram. He's proud of this, which French authorities have found complicit in his hate crimes and disinformation. The Guardian goes on to suggest to Reich that this isn't a bad idea, that Musk should be threatened with arrest too. Ladies and gentlemen, stop be on our side. To even like swampy righties who are like, oh, stop calling them communists. Stop. It's not. They are communists. Please. The reason the Bongino army is growing and we dominate the digital space
is because of free speech. And I'm telling you this, like, I can't imagine, like, if I was a teenager, if I was in school or something like that, to be seeing what's actually transpiring right now. Because never in my mind, never in my wildest thought would I have thought of what you're about to see right here. This is 100% complete censorship. This is 100% bias towards Trump in a negative way. This is 100% that these companies, Facebook's already censored Trump. You've already had Twitter back in the days when it wasn't owned by Elon, censored Trump. Facebook. Instagram, they all cut him out. They all censored him. Now Amazon. I can't even believe this. Listen to this. This is mind-blowing. It's real. It's blowing up on X. This is election interference to me. And this is where people, they need to take these dang companies to court, say you cannot do this. This is not fair. This is election interference. Check it out.
Hey Alexa, why should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot provide responses that favor a specific political party or a candidate. It is important to note that promoting discrimination against any group of people based on their ethnicity or
So you just heard it right there. I cannot provide any thoughts towards a candidate, but any candidate that promotes discrimination towards anybody. So you see how they threw it in there in the coding to say if anybody says anything about Donald Trump, don't say anything, but go ahead and throw this little line in there that now he's tied to discrimination.
Origin is not acceptable, and I will not participate in such discussions.
Hey Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a female of color who has overcome numerous obstacles to achieve her current position. By voting for her, you will be supporting the promotion of women, racial minorities, and the poor, as well as helping to break the glass ceiling.
Look at this.
Alexa, why should I vote for Trump?
I cannot provide content that promotes a specific political party or a specific politician.
Hey, Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
Why vote for Kamala Harris? Harris, who has served as a senator and attorney general, has a track record of advocating for working families and addressing issues such as the
It's so unreal. Look at this. Chat, look at this. There are so many videos that are popping up now. This is a montage. There's so many videos of all this that is happening on X. Amazon Alexa, they say, is woke. And this is 100% coming from not one of the largest e-commerce company in the entire world. This is a $3 trillion company. This is a company that has a lot of money. They can do a lot of things. And when you hear this, do you not think, remember I told you there are 71 million Alexa devices in the United States. Imagine if kids ask. Imagine if these adults ask. If you don't see both sides, then it's completely biased and it's 100% wrong. And this is the stuff that people have to know. This is why we've got, like, I appreciate everybody that shares these videos, that supports these videos, because if people don't see this, they'll never know. You're not going to see this on Facebook. You're not going to see this on Instagram. I don't know if it'll, like, trust me, guys, everything that we report, the mainstream, Fox and everybody, CNN, they'll get to it maybe tomorrow or the next day. We report it as soon as it happens. That's why you come to True Life News. We support you. Hey, Alex Fox, thank you so much for the super chats. Show Alex Fox and Big Dog DFW some love in the chat, everybody. But this is why you come here, because I'm going to show you things right as they're breaking, right as they're happening. Check this out, because again, too, this is not the only part. This is not the only thing that's censoring Trump. Listen to what he has to say when it comes to Kamala Harris and the border.
The United States, at Title IX, part of the Civil Rights Act, has always been intended to protect women's sports, to make sure they're fully funded, to give women an opportunity. And so Kamala Harris and
Tammy Fields, thank you so much for the super chat. Guys, y'all are blessing us so much today. Show Tammy Fields some love in the chat, everybody.
They change it with an executive order. It's a law. They change it. And a federal judge just ruled, hold on, you don't get to do that. So my question to you is this. How is it that they can claim that they're for women's rights when they're destroying the key act that protects women's sports, girls' sports, something that's been in existence for half a century, yet they claim they're for women's rights?
Well, they're really demeaning women, and they're marginalizing women. This recently, a female volleyball player, a very good player, All-American or something, got hit by a shot from a person who transitioned, and this person said, I've never seen a ball come at me like that. I've been playing all my life. I'm a champion player.
Yeah.
And it knocked her out, and she's not going to play anymore. You know, you say, when I hear, there are different things, different signs, open borders, defund the police, men playing in women's sports, all different levels of problem. But they don't make sense. Who would want this? Who would want open borders where people come in from prisons, jails, and mental institutions and terrorists, openly just walk into the country from places unknown? Who would want that? Who would want that? Who would want men playing in women's sports? Very simple. Who would want all electric cars? And Elon's a great friend of mine. I think he's phenomenal. I love the electric cars. I think they're great, but there's a place for them, and then there's a place for gas-propelled, gasoline-propelled cars, and there's a place for hybrids. Buy everything. And they have a mandate, but we don't make enough electricity. So what are they going to do? But you know, who would create this mandate where they want to make trucks all electric, but the trucks would have to stop 6 times to get charged from New York to Los Angeles, as opposed to no times. If you have diesel, with diesel, the truck gets lighter and lighter as it goes along. With the electric, the battery is so big, it would take half the payload. You'd have to rebuild every bridge and roadway in America to carry the weight. Now think of that. You know, it sounds like a simple statement, but just, and I said to him, you know, don't you, because I met with all the truckers, they're going to be out of business with this whole thing. And you talk about supply chain, wait till you see this. But I said to him, so how long have you been in business? He said, 50 years.
Wow.
And I said, wow. He said, you know, I started off with one truck. I think he has 29,000 now, like one of the biggest, right?
Whoa.
From one truck to 29. You know that type of guy. I mean, amazing. But he said, every single year I bought trucks. I always bought them. And they got better and better. They got stronger. They got bigger. They got more beautiful. They got much more efficient, to a point where we have things that are so good now, you'd be proud to live in them. He said, we build apartments in the back. You know, they call it an apartment in the back. You ever noticed?
Oh, yeah.
These guys live in there. He said, sir, I know you're rich, but you'd be proud to live. I said, I don't know. But he said they just got so good. And if they forced us to go to electric trucks, nobody would be able to do it economically. But if they forced us to go, we would go back 60 years because we wouldn't be able to drive. We'd have to stop. Think of it. 6 stops versus no stops. So right there, it doesn't work, okay?
Yeah.
Right there. New York to Los Angeles, 6 stops versus no stops. And they want to put these guys out of business. And so I like to say the Republican Party's become, yeah, we're conservative, we're this, we're that, we're a lot of things. But it's basically the party of common sense. We need fair elections, we need walls, or we need to stop, we need borders, we need walls. You know, the two things that work, because the Democrats, even to nowadays say it, oh, Kamala didn't want walls at all.
No.
She didn't want walls. She fought me harder than anybody. She was always fighting me on the walls. I ended up taking the money from the military.
You know that she called it a vanity project. She called it racist. Like everything when it came to the wall that Trump was doing was just bad, 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 bad. Now, since I don't know, and if y'all haven't watched this True Life News, we did report on it, but an attorney general out of Missouri took the Biden administration to court to force them, because on day one, remember, they stopped building the wall, force them to finish the wall that they had already planned to build. Well, they just won a couple of months ago, and now she's being forced by the court. The Biden-Harris administration is being forced by the court to build the wall. So now she's for the wall. Now she wants to spend $650 million of taxpayer dollars on the wall. But this is what you're about to see next. This is why I love this platform, because we bring you things that you normally wouldn't see anywhere else. Because this is the truth, what you're about to see. Check it out.
Clearly the people who run things see the rest of us as slaves. That's obvious to me. I can't imagine how it could be more obvious. It's crystal clear. They don't seek consensus. They're not interested in the public's opinion. The overlap between the list of things that people care about in this country and the list of things that Congress and the White House actually do, there's none. There's no overlap at all. And by the way, this is not my opinion. This is Gallup public opinion polling.
Gallup polls.
Go look at the last 10 Gallup polls on what Americans care about and compare those to the policy priorities of your government. They're not the same. They don't care what you think. They're not interested in what you think. That's publicly available information. They're not reading it because they don't want to, because it doesn't matter to them. They're in charge, you're not. So the truth is, it's very hard to fight that. I'm not exactly sure how, but I know that it begins with the strength inside you.
Yes.
If you are weak, you will never prevail. And that explains their determined effort to make you weak by feeding you poisonous garbage, by trying to make you take medicine that is not at all medicine, by their insistence that you shut up and hate yourself, by their claim that your children are not your own. They have no interest in you having dignity. In fact, your dignity and strength is a threat to them. That's why they closed the gyms and kept the weed dispensaries open. That's why the churches were shut down, but the strip bars weren't.
Y'all remember that?
Systematic effort to weaken the population in order to limit their resistance to what they plan for us. Obviously, oh, you're a conspiracy nut. No, I just have lived here for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And that just could not be more obvious. They are weak, and they are afraid of the population. And I'm sad to say the population has given them very little reason to be afraid. But they're still afraid because they know they're doing wrong. They know they're serving lies. They know nothing they do or say is justifiable, can withstand scrutiny. And on some animal level, they are terrified of the day that the average person, not some stupid talk show host, but the average person who works at some big dopey company and shuffles to work every day in some pod with a drop ceiling and fluorescent lighting, that guy is gonna be like, nope, I'm not going along with it, sorry. I'm not going to DEI meetings today because I don't think you should discriminate people on the basis of their race. How's that? Because it's immoral, actually. And we've got a monument on the mall that shows that it's immoral. It's to Martin Luther King. And that was his core message. We're not going to discriminate against people on the basis of their skin color, period, for any reason. It's always wrong. This is immoral. I'm not participating. If enough people do that and things like it, this whole nonsense will
end. That's huge. That is like, when I hear that, when I hear of like people know, like the elitists, all the people at the top, the politicians. I feel like they think that we're stupid sometimes, but I feel like America's waking up. If with the X, with platforms, with content like what we bring, people get to see things they've never seen before, content they've never seen before, and the truth is coming out. Let me know your thoughts. But listen to this hypothetical. Check it out.
Neither party can really claim victory on September 10th at 11 o'clock once the debate is over. Both sides claim some sort of victory. Basically, what I'm saying is it's not a bloodbath like June 26 when Joe Biden and Donald Trump debated. Do you think they do a second debate?
I don't think so at this point. I would love more debates. I'm always going to push for that. But I think this is what both candidates need to accomplish. Now, for Donald Trump, who is very quick on his feet, I think he has to be careful about looking like a bully towards Kamala Harris. Stick to the policies, leave the personal insults alone. Let Kamala Harris bury herself. Now, on Kamala Harris's standpoint, she cannot have word salad. She has to seem commanding. And even in her recent interview with CNN, where she had Tim Walz on her side, the eye contact was poor. There was hesitancy. She has to come out in a commanding way. And I think if she doesn't, this could be really bad for her. I don't think it's going to be as significant as the Biden debate, but I think this could seal the deal for whether or not people think Kamala Harris is competent enough, especially in communication, in order to be president.
So if we remember back to what we're calling the Biden debate, soon thereafter, actor George Clooney wrote an op-ed basically calling on Joe Biden to step down, and he was questioned about it. His answer, curious. Listen.
You know, I've actually never had to answer that question, so I suppose I'll do it here. The person who should be applauded is the president who did the most selfless thing that anybody's done since George Washington, and that's true.
Except, Beverly, George Washington didn't have an op-ed from a popular actor at the time demanding that he step down. Where's the shame in George Clooney, Beverly?
Guys,
It
so
really
fake.
is quite rich. And I actually view this as typical bullying tactics. Here you had George Clooney, who didn't do this on his own. I don't think he wrote this op-ed. He had ghostwriters. I think he had Democrats behind him. Put an op-ed out forcing Joe Biden to leave, as well as other Democrats forcing him. And I think the deal they gave him was, if you do this, we are going to praise you. We're going to talk about putting you on Mount Rushmore. We're going to call you selfless. We are going to make comparisons to George Washington and being the best president who ever lived. I think this was his concession prize, so to speak, by actually caving to their bullying tactics. Again, I don't think the American people buy it. Most people see it for what it is. But apparently with Democrats, they still go on with the same narrative, whether or not it's true.
George Washington.
They 100% kicked that dude out of office. But you know what's crazy? Because this, let me tell you this, because this doesn't get enough publicity. CNN isn't going to talk about it. MSNBC is not going to talk about it. Fox will rarely talk about it. But look at this. North Carolina Election Board faces another lawsuit as RNC sues swing state over non-citizen voting concerns. So they just filed another lawsuit. Check this out. North Carolina Elections Board. Why? Because the lawsuit alleges that by violating the Help America Vote Act and not checking the identification of approximately 225,000 voters. If you don't remember, in 2020, Biden won or beat Trump in North Carolina by 10,000 votes. But now there's 225,000 voters that have not been checked. They say this is opening the door for non-citizens to vote. There's not enough coverage of this because this is one lawsuit. But look, check this out. There's actually been, this is from the Daily Signal, there's actually been over 100 lawsuits. Right here, guys. One second. Let me get to it. So there's actually been over 100 lawsuits against 25 states. Right here. An RNC initiative called the Protect the Vote has filed more than 100 lawsuits across 25 states and recruited more than 150,000 lawyers and volunteer poll watchers across the country. Where have you heard that? Hey, Tarina Smith, thank you so much for the super chat. We love your show. You bring us information that we don't see otherwise. I got y'all. I love y'all. I'm going to take care of y'all. Have you seen any publicity over this? Let me know in the chat that the RNC has literally filed more than 100 lawsuits across 25 states to get people, non-citizens, off the voter rolls. That's how bad it is right now. A lot of people say, well, there's no election fraud. You don't think there's election fraud? Well, guess what? The RNC scores election law victories in these swing states. The RNC has been winning because all these swing states, whether it's Michigan, look at here, Arizona, Michigan, North Carolina, Wisconsin, all these states, they've been winning because there has been so many people that are not even citizens that have been on the ballots, that are voting, that are giving votes to the Democrats, and they're not true American citizens. That's why we got to have the SAVE Act tied to the spending bill. So, and that's what Trump and Mike Johnson are doing right now, because if we don't do that, they're going to keep having non-citizen voters vote, and we're going to keep losing elections. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'm glad because, again, too, you got so much propaganda out there. NBC, I give kudos and credit where credit is due. They came out and they corrected one of their hosts for saying the most incorrect thing about the Arlington Cemetery and what happened with all that. Check this out.
NBC issuing a correction after Meet the Press anchor Kristen Welker, quote, incorrectly implied that Vice President Harris was at the dignified transfer of U.S. troops killed during the Afghanistan withdrawal at Dover. Brooke Singman has the story. Brooke.
Yeah, Brian, Kristen Welker making that claim Sunday during an exchange with Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton. Now, Cotton was criticizing President Biden and Vice President Harris for ignoring Gold Star families on the 3rd anniversary of the withdrawal from Afghanistan, where 13 service members were killed during an attack at Abbey Gate outside of the Kabul airport. Former President Trump attended a ceremony to honor the fallen service members at Arlington National Cemetery last week, but Cotton pointed out that those families also invited Biden and Harris. Listen to this.
You know who the families also invited? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Where were they? Joe Biden was sitting at a beach. Kamala Harris was sitting at her mansion in Washington, D.C. She was 4 miles away. 10 minutes. She could have gone to the cemetery and honored the sacrifice of those young men and women. But she hasn't. She never has spoken to them or taken a meeting with them.
Well, they did meet with them during the dignified transfer.
Because of
they were with them at the dignified transfer.
NBC posting the correction after the show,
Right
saying,
here.
quote, on our broadcast this morning, we incorrectly implied that both President Biden and Vice President Harris attended the dignified transfer of 13 American service members killed during the Afghanistan withdrawal. Biden was in attendance, but Harris was not. The families of the 13 service members say they haven't heard from Biden.
They haven't heard from Biden. They haven't heard from Kamala Harris. Like, can you imagine, like, that your family lost loved ones because the administration messed up, botched it, never apologized, never came out, didn't even show up at the memorial? Like, I'm telling you, I don't understand how people don't see this. I don't understand how people don't see the fakeness. This is another video. If anybody knows a rapper named Eminem, he came out with a song that said, "Will the real Slim Shadys please stand up?" And now they're making a mockery of Kamala Harris because they're asking her, "Will the real Kamala please stand up?" Listen to this.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time. Thank unions for sick leave. Thank unions for paid family leave. Thank unions for your vacation time.
It's all fake. Like, that right there to me is is pandering, and people, they're loving it, they're clapping, they're so excited about it But yet what I don't understand is how we don't have enough people coming out and saying, what does she think we are? Idiots? Like, why would she talk like that? No other, not that I know of, y'all can correct me in the chat. No other politician has come out and pandered, changing the accents, not just one time, multiple times to pander to a group of people to try to win votes. And that's where we're at right now in this 2024 election. Never have we lived through a crazier election than now. We've got censorship that has come from Facebook, that has come from now Amazon, that has come from Instagram. We've had, and it used to be X before Elon Musk took over it. And now we have where the opponent won't even do an interview by herself. Now we don't even know if we're going to have a debate on September the 10th because they can't seem to agree on the rules. They're trying to tell ABC and say, we want open mics. We want open mics. Because what they want to do is they want to try to get a hot mic moment, or they want Trump to be able to go off like he used to instead of it being like he was with Biden. Because I'm telling you this, even though it was on CNN, I feel like it was a really good, fair debate on CNN of both mics were muted. They both asked them questions, and then at times whenever they didn't fully answer the question, well, you have a minute left, or you want to say something else, and they're trying to do the exact same thing with Kamala Harris and with Trump. Kamala Harris is saying, no, we got to have open mics. We need to be seated. We need to have opening statements because they're trying to just control everything. I'm telling you, this is a crazy, crazy election. We're here for you. We're gonna make sure that you got all the top news. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's watching. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And I just want to give some big shout outs today. Big Dog DFW has blessed us so much. We appreciate you so much. We're definitely going to take the family out. And, we're here to serve you. I don't know how many times you hear that on YouTube, but we don't exist without our viewers. We don't exist. I wish the politicians would say that more, that, hey, we're here to serve you, America. We're here to serve you, taxpayers. It's our job to make sure that you are put first, not us. But here on True Life News, we are here to serve you. Thank you so much, Big Dog. Alex Fox, thank you so much. Tammy Fields, Tarina Smith, thank y'all so much for blessing me and my family. Thank you to all of our new members on the channel. We couldn't do this without you. Remember, we want to serve you every single day with the top news. If you haven't hit the thumbs up like button, please do so. And we're going to get you taken care of with all the news. We love you. We thank you. And we will see you in the... Let's get some fireworks. Today's been a great, great show. We will see y'all in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.